And if it is, how do we catch up to that supply?
Yeah, I mean, right now in certain areas, it definitely looks like that. And if you look at like the number of data centers and things like that that are looking to connect to the system, particularly in a place like Texas, like um, Texas where I'm at, like the ERCOT grid peaks at about 85 gigawatts or 85 and a half gigawatts, and there's currently 225 gigawatts worth of data centers that would like to come online before 2030. And now there's just physically no way that the grid can grow that fast. Like it took us well over 100 years to get to 85 and a half gigawatts, and we're not going to like triple that in 5 years, right? It's just like we can't deploy enough steel fast. There's not enough people to, even if we had it laying around, there's not enough people to install it like in the scale upon which it would take um, to get there. And generally, like the grid is not going to allow load to connect if it's going to destabilize the system. And so I think it'll make the grid tighter, like with the deployment of all this infrastructure. I mean, I do think costs are going to go up. If you look at like, you know, the like in ERCOT, just because it's what I know the best, there's 250 gigawatts of large load that wants to, sorry, 225 gigawatts of large load that wants to connect to the system, and we've got about 280 gigawatts of like supply in the interconnection queue. Now, most of that is solar and wind and sorry, most of that is solar and storage, with a little bit of wind and gas as well. But I don't think it would produce enough energy for all of like the data centers that want to connect to the system. So um, right now, it looks like demand or like projected demand is vastly like outpacing supply, but when it comes down to like the day-to-day operations of the grid, like I don't think we will let the grid go dark because we just connect too many things. Like at least we're a little bit smarter than that, I would hope. But yeah, but there's large interest in putting new demands on the system, and so we need to build a lot of new supply.
How would building that new supply look? Is that more transmitters, more big stations, more substations,
All of
or
it, every
all of
bit
it?
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's every bit of it because I mean, you need all of that. You need the power plants, you need the transformers, you need the substations, you need the switchgear, you need the distribution, you need all the pieces, the poles, everything, to be able um, to grow at the scale at which like it wants to grow.
And of those three, do you think that the AI and the data storages require the most electricity by far, or is it pretty balanced between that, EVs and Bitcoin mining farms coming up now too?
I mean, I think in general, like the utilization factors, like how often is the demand, consuming the electricity? I mean, I think a lot, like right now, it's still early days, but a lot of these like AI training and inference, data centers are consuming the a lot of energy. So they have a really high utilization factor. They're paying tens of thousands of dollars per chip, and so like they want to keep the chips operating like as often as possible. I think it's somewhere like the the lost like 1 megawatt, like a data center would value not having 1 megawatt at $4 to $12 million per year. Like if you have a 1 year delay, like a megawatt is, you're losing $4 to $12 million. And so if you look at a gigawatt data center, that's like $1.2 billion like lost like per year if like you're not able to operate that. And so the the perceived value of the product coming out of the data center is so much higher than the cost of the electricity, like going in, that is one of the reasons you're seeing like this huge rush like into the market uh of these data centers. But once they get in there, they they want to operate, they want to run more or less continuously.